Hello everyone and welcome to Vedic Astrology. This week I'm just going to add to my videos with the Shravana Nakshatra, giving you a brief summary, a brief introduction as to some of the issues that we deal with or what it represents and how it may or may not impact our lives. I ask that you jump in and journey with me, a brighter day with Vedic Astrology to guide you over the sea of life with Vedic Astrology. The symbols for the Shravana Nakshatra are three footprints, and these three footprints depicting the story of Lord Vishnu in his avatar of Vamana tells us how he stood in front of King Mahabali asking for him to grant a request, and King Mahabali granted his request against the advice of the sage who was there at the time. And this tells us that Lord Vishnu has in his keeping the world, in that he had to take back the earth, the sky and the heavens from the Asuras. There are many other myths and mythology in Hinduism about Lord Vishnu, but what struck me about this is that at the end of the day you don't know who stands in front of you, whether it's God, whether it's an Asura, whether it's a Deva. So that you have to treat people respectfully, you have to treat people sincerely, but you also cannot be acting without listening. And Shravana is all about listening, so that other than the myths and the stories in the Sanskrit text that we find about Lord Vishnu and the Srimad Bhagavatam, we need to understand just a simple principle. You don't know who stands before you, so that you have to at least treat all people with respect, give them an ear and understand where they are coming from. Lord Vishnu is part of the Trimurti of the Hindu religion, and Lord Vishnu had the Herculean task of gaining against the Asuras who had usurped the three worlds, and he is thus the savior of the mortals and the immortals who are the Devas. When we speak about the three strides which we just went over, it is that Vishnu is establishing his reach and form. With his first step he covered the earth, the second the ether, and the third the entire heaven. The Rig Veda speaks about the first and second strides of Vishnu, that they are the ones encompassing the earth and air, and which are visible to the mortals. The third is in the realm of the immortals, so that we as humans on earth can't see it, but we believe because we have the three footsteps. So it's all about faith and hope and understanding how your faith and hope can take you far and wide with the divine guidance. The padas of the Shravana Nakshatra follow the norm in terms of dharma, artha, kama, moksha. But one of the things I want to speak about here is the artha pada, which is Taurus, and it's a Pushkara pada. It means that there are additional blessings in this pada. And artha is the foundation for dharma and karma. Without prosperity and security, we don't have morality in society. So that you need to think about your moral responsibility in accessing or gaining or retrieving wealth in the material sense. Because this artha and in terms of the padas, it is not about greed, it's not about revenge, it's not about accumulation. It is about your spiritual liberation and your moral responsibility to yourself and to society. So that is the possessions that we should be looking at to get from this pada, if we are so lucky to have a planet or graha in this pada for the Shravana Nakshatra. The Shravana Nakshatra resides in Capricorn, which is a Saturn-owned zodiac sign. But Shravana itself is, a moon-ruled, and Lord Vishnu is the deity. But the characteristics of Capricorn, because if you know a planet resides in here, the characteristics of this sign is the home. So how would it behave? It's conservative, it's traditional, it's responsible. You always think about a father figure or elder male figure. It's hardworking, it's structured. Queen of Pentacles from the Minor Arcana represents the same thing, which is why I always give you the tarot alignment with the Patra, because the research tells you that there is a connection, and this just gives you that connection again, because Queen of Pentacles from tarot is the same characteristics as the Capricorn, the zodiac sign in our Purushartha. And Capricorn is innately wise, it's honorable. You think that people who were born in Capricorn, who have their ascendant in Capricorn, are intimidating, they're not approachable. But we will find out that this may not be so. Capricorn is a structured sign. When you think about Capricorn, you think about governance, you think about institutions. And what do you see when you see institutions? You see buildings that are enclosed. So that, all the emotions are enclosed in these buildings in Capricorn. So that is the structure, and that is the execution that you will execute your strategies from. If your Lagna is here in Capricorn, the 11th Lord is Badak for you, which means that Mars creates obstacles for you. And Mars would be the owner of the 11th house and the 4th house. So that sometimes your comforts and your assets, your vehicles, your family, it may have sudden changes and transformations with respect to this sign. The moon characteristics in Capricorn, how does moon behave? Moon is passive and changeable. It's fluctuating, because recall that moon moves from zodiac sign to zodiac sign approximately every 2.5 days, so that you always thinking differently, you always have other things on your mind, and based on the sign that moon is in, you would feel a particular way. And moon in Capricorn, we say that it's in fall, not that it's debilitated, but that it's weak, because moon in Cancer represents emotion, the flow of emotion. Capricorn is a structure with the buildings that I just spoke about. It also is like a blocked river, where you have to go over rocks and pebbles and debris that may have been thrown in or washed down from the mountains or wherever it is coming from. So these are the things that you have to overcome in Capricorn with moon in Capricorn. And people in Capricorn, they find it hard to trust, they find it hard to open. But if you have somebody or a friend or family member who is a Capricorn ascendant, then you really need to give them some time for them to assimilate and absorb the emotions or the feelings around them before they can tell you what they are feeling. Have patience with them. And moon functions as the link from your past experience to your instinctive reactions to experiences in the present. So, how you did in the past reflects how you are going to behave in the present. And moon is represented by the crescent moon in Vedic astrology. And this symbol represents mind, or the evolving human spirit. And there are phases of the moon, and they influence significant events in our family, because when we think a certain way, we act on what we think, and we act sometimes on our emotions. So we have to be careful of how we deal with emotions in any sign. And Shravana is the nakshatra of the learning air. And as with Revati, which I did last week, it shows you the characteristics and the themes that we have to go through, for this nakshatra. And we have the element is Vayu, the planet is moon, and Vayu is based on Capricorn being a Saturn own sign, and Saturn is an airy planet. We have the chakra, the Muladhara chakra, so that we want to get to the root, we want to get to the basics in this, what it is, the foundation that we are building on. I spoke about the Queen of Pentacles. The next tarot card is the Devil, and this is again where the material possessions should not be our focus, because when you look at this card, you see two naked people being chained, but the chain is not linked to the devil sitting there. We are there because we want to be there. We are looking at ego, we are looking at material possessions, the tree of life and the tree of knowledge. But we are not using that knowledge to understand that we don't need to be chained to our assets or our wealth. We need to be chained to our spiritual and divine forces that will guide us and always be with us and hold us, and you need to look at that. And these are some of the things we look at. These are just some of the characteristic and themes that we view and analyze in respect of all that I've spoken before and all that is to come with Shravana Nakshatra and any other nakshatra. The avatar that is aligned to the moon in this Shravana Nakshatra is Lord Krishna. And remember, the Vishnu avatars are throughout the 12 zodiac signs, because we say that the 12 zodiac signs are the limbs of Vishnu. So that in Capricorn, for moon nakshatra, we align Lord Krishna himself with this Shravana Nakshatra. And Lord Krishna is depicted in a variety of forms, There are many stories surrounding him. The most common story describes Krishna as a divine lover who plays the flute. We also recall Krishna in his childhood days as the naughty child who steals the butter, and have that all over his face and body. We understand that Krishna in his avatar too was a cowherd, and at this point it is that we look at the legend of Krishna and that famous poem, the Bhagavad Gita. And they say that this is spoken by Krishna to Arjuna on the battlefield. And what is Krishna telling Arjuna? He is strategizing with him and telling him how, why, when, and where. Battles should be fought. You should hold your hand. You should move forward. You should hold your position. So it's strategies that Lord Krishna is telling us, and we need to listen. We need to listen to Lord Krishna when we have planets in the Shravana Nakshatra. And in this way, we will learn and understand what we need to do. As always, this was just a brief and short analysis or summary of the Shravana Nakshatra, and I thank Bhagwan again for his blessings for me to complete this. I thank him for him giving me the knowledge and for me retaining that knowledge to share with you. I thank you once again for your viewing and your listening, and I ask that you subscribe, you share, you sign up. Thank you. See you next time. Bye.